exciting. I'm such a huge fan. I just want you to know I'm a huge Falcons fan. By the way, I'm a huge Falcons fan. I'm a huge Falcons fan. I'm a huge Falcons fan. I'm a huge Falcons fan, just so you know. It's like everything I've ever wanted my whole life. I can't, they're not saying anything. I'm the one talking. I'm from Calhoun, Georgia. You heard of it? We have a Nike outlet. A lot of people know where we are. We're right below the poverty line. I can't wait to borrow your ring someday. Nice to meet you.
You can actually have their ring once we win it, you know?
Yeah, you heard it. He said that on camera.
Great show today for you guys. Meta World Peace gives us a glimpse into what it's like to win a championship. Rich Eisen is going to join us live in studio, and we try to find Kyle Shanahan's playbook. But first, as you can see, I'm not alone here on set. We've got a panel all week. Let's go ahead and meet them. We've got wide receiver, Super Bowl champion, and FS1 rookie, Greg Jennings. Yeah. Rose Battle, who I think now might be dating Julio Jones.
It's official.
Sarah Tiana. And lastly, the man who had LeBron's anti-Barkley take before he did, FS1's own Nick Wright. You had that first.
I had it first.
You had that first.
That is my corner.
You had that first.
LeBron's on my corner.
That's your corner.
Yep.
Thank you guys for being here. Let's get right into it. Media night was last night, which always provides some ridiculous stories. And this year, it was Kyle Shanahan and his backpack. Yeah, last night, the Falcons offensive coordinator misplaced his backpack, which was accidentally picked up by San Francisco columnist Art Spander. And this was a problem. Why? Well, his playbook for the Super Bowl was in the backpack. Yeah, not good. Not a good look. Sarah, you were on the scene when this happened, and you actually talked to Shanahan?
Yeah, I was trying to get to talk to him, and he told me to wait a second. He was super stressed because he couldn't find his backpack, and he was like running around. He's like, so I'll be back. And then I was like, oh man, I hope he doesn't have his playbook in there when he like walked away.
And he did.
And he did, but in his defense, he's getting ready to be the coach of the 49ers, so he's just preparing for losing things. Oh, big 49ers fan? Big 49ers fan?
No one admits that in public. I'm team backpack. You know this, because we went to a Knicks game together, and I embarrassingly was at a Knicks game, but also carried a backpack everywhere I went and made a fool out of myself. So I can't make fun of him for that, but I never put it down.
Correct.
Why did he put it down?
I don't know why he put it down. I do know that this gave me, like, flashbacks. I think the statute of limitations up, so I have a confession to make.
Oh, God.
I took a playbook once.
Oh! Wait, what? From who?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Wait, whoa.
Well, that was probably just a coloring book.
No.
That was the lunch menu. Yeah, that was Andy Reid's lunch menu.
No, this was before Andy Reid. So, like, 9 years ago, I was getting my start in radio. It was at Chiefs training camp. There's a press conference. I had to do an interview from, like, after the press conference. So I was standing in the room. At some point, everyone leaves the room. We're all leaving it. Everyone's gone. I'm getting ready to leave. And just sitting right there, someone had left a playbook. And I was like, I want to learn.
Where were you last night at 7 o'clock?
And so I took it. And then I went back to my hotel, and I realized, first of all, it's a defensive playbook, so I don't know what I'm doing with it. Second of all, what was the plan here? And then I've literally told no one until this moment, and now I'm telling a national television audience.
How long ago was this?
2009.
Oh, okay, so the first thing, next time that happens, call me. I got a couple guys who'll get you some money for it.
Right,
like,
New England paid top dollar for it.
That's not what I meant. They already have all those on tape. No, just kidding. Yeah, I don't understand why he would have his playbook. Do you need to bring your playbook to media day? Is that a thing?
In his defense, you're getting on the bus ride. You don't know how long it's going to take. There's a lot of maneuvering. So preparing for a game is not just when we think preparing for a game is supposed to be. It's all week. Any moment you have, you want to be looking into that playbook. So I understand why. I'm sure some of the players had their playbook, maybe had left them on the bus. Get it. But rule of thumb is you never want to leave your playbook in your hotel room. Because you don't know who's going to walk in that hotel room, even though you have security on your floors.
Like your girlfriend?
That's
not your wife, your girlfriend.
No, my wife would be walking.
Not yours. I'm not talking about yours.
The generic you.
Okay,
generic
I'll take that. I'm
player.
like, no, I'm not getting in trouble with that.
Why don't you put it in the safe?
The playbook, no.
Is it
the
big?
playbook isn't
I've
gonna
never
fit in the
seen one.
safe.
When I won my Super Bowl, we went on.
But here's the thing, it would be different. It would be different if it was a defensive playbook because defenses are pretty, no disrespect.
Those are
to
just
the
written on a
defensive side of the ball.
napkin and it's like Brady bad.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's easy. It's kind of run down. Every defense is going to get cover 2, cover 3, cover 1.
Yeah.
Pretty traditional. Everyone plays the same coverage, but an offensive playbook
Much different.
Much different. Well,
so walk me through this. If it's that big of a deal, right? Like if Belichick got his hands on that playbook somehow last night, why don't they just have shut up?
He got it. We all know he's had it since Saturday.
Why don't they just have a decoy offensive playbook? Leave it in a backpack at media day and let somebody pick it up and plan for the complete wrong offense. Like, does that work?
That's completely overthinking it. And when you're preparing for a team, it's not a matter of, man, I wish I can get their plays so that we can now prepare. You don't need to know what the other team is doing. You have film that shows you if you prepare the correct way, your film study is going to tell you everything you need to know. So whether you see the actual plays or a fraudulent playbook, it really doesn't matter until you see those guys line up in that same formation you've been studying all week, preparing for, and run those same plays. Then that's when you begin to react and you're like, my job has been done. Now I can just play and perform because I've prepared.
But the Falcons are really, because this was gone for about 45 minutes. Art Spander, who found it, is 78 years old. They're so lucky that was the media member who found it. I mean, do you know how many guys, our age, except for Greg, would, how many of those, would have just instantly tweeted it or Snapchatted it or just put out to the world not knowing the importance of it, look what I found? And then the Falcons would have to change some things. If you have your first 10 play script or whatever it is, Art Spander found it, and I mean, I doubt he has a Twitter or Snapchat, and he returned it to its rightful owner.
He actually does.
He has a Twitter?
No, I'm just.
No, okay, I don't think so.
What? And he didn't put it on there?
This could have, I mean, it could have been a real problem 6 days before the game.
Here's what the real problem would have been. If we didn't find out who had that playbook, if it was missing until this morning and it's still missing, we're sitting here blaming the Patriots. We're sitting here being like, who from the Patriots stole the playbook? Or what crazy drunk fan stole the playbook?
I think that it's on the board. The Patriots hired Spander to do it, but he forgot, halfway through. He's like, why do I have this? Why is it here? And he just gave it back.
Even yourself as a Patriots fan, would you not have thought that yourself?
What if I...
here we go again?
Yeah.
No, I would have been like, here we go again. I have to yell at Chris Carter for 45 more minutes. I can't take another fake scandal.
First of all, whenever something goes missing, I always assume it's Ben McAdoo because he looks like he takes a lot of things like children. But I think that... You guys don't think he looks like a pedophile? Just me? All right. Sure.
I know Ben.
Yeah, you guys
are not a pedophile.
He's not a pedophile?
Stop it.
He looks like one, and that's not my fault.
Allegedly.
Anyway. But my other question is, this backpack is just sitting on the ground. Security doesn't say it. Nobody notices a backpack laying on the ground. And there's all these, famous football players sitting around. Doesn't security...
If you see something,
say something.
A backpack is really kind of scary.
It's super scary.
Who's working security at media day?
Yeah.
And why did they keep you away from the players?
The only thing I question is why sit the backpack down?
Right?
That's the only
Here's the thing, and I'll be completely honest, and then I'm going to have to go take care of this situation so nobody capitalizes on it. The reason I didn't put my backpack down that night at the Knicks game, I had a check in it, like a paycheck that I needed to take to the bank, and I had accidentally did the thing your dad tells you to never do. I endorsed it before I got to the bank. I'm like, if somebody gets this check, there goes my money. So I didn't put it down all night long.
When else am I going to get $50?
Yeah, right? Otherwise, mama's got to make rent.
I got to do something else.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the Patriots, because that's what I like to do. The Patriots have played 10 games this season, as we all know, without Rob Gronkowski, and they've won every single one of them, which means, you guys, of course, it's time for some hot takes. The newest one out there in the ether today, since the Pats clearly don't need Gronk to win, they should trade him. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Tuesday. It is Tuesday, and we've run out of stuff to say.
Yeah.
Other than, should we trade this person? How would the Pats be if Tom Brady was instead just a dinosaur? Like, why? We don't, what? Take this hot take and cool it off for me.
Okay, listen, I fashion myself a bit of a hot take expert. However, this one, like, here's what bothers me so much about, like, today's sports commentary is I get it if you don't have, like, some giant historical background, but we only need to go back 12 months, 24 months, not that long ago, to see how incredibly valuable Gronkowski is. In the last Super Bowl, the Patriots won.
I just have to go back to last night.
Right. Oh. There you go.
Please.
Allegedly.
How many times have I told you, videotape things and give them to me?
He doesn't like that.
The last Super Bowl they were in, without him, they lose. The AFC Championship game last year, a game they ended up losing by 2 points.
Oh, okay.
He was the best player on the field, though. Hit 140 yards, 4th and 10, season on the line. He catches a 40-yard pass.
But two-point conversion is what everybody thinks.
Correct, but he was unbelievable that game.
Yeah.
Rob Gronkowski is one of the 6 or 7 most valuable non-quarterbacks in the sport. Just because they have won without him does not mean they don't need him. Like, there's people here in Houston, they know the Texans were 9-7 without J.J. Watt this year. Nobody thinks J.J. Watt must suck. They don't need J.J. Watt. There's the correlation causation here doesn't follow, at least to me.
Correlation causation.
Don't act impressed. You use that line in the meeting.
Correlation causation. You're so smart.
Oh, man.
I don't know. He's hurt a lot, but they knew that, right? Like, his contract is structured in a way that, like, we know you're not going to play every season.
Right.
And you said earlier, like, why do we need to get rid of a guy that then for what? You know, draft picks and that we'd hope would be as good as Gronk is?
Right, you can win the Super Bowl. Like, you're in the Super Bowl. You might win it next year. You don't trade one of your best players for future draft picks. It's absurd. Like, listen, and the guy that you didn't name check him, I will real quick. Manish Mehta's a clown. Like, he's made his whole career being a clown. That's the guy that wrote the article. Like, he's so happy we're talking about him. That's why he wrote it. He doesn't believe it. He's a clown. And so he's like, trade Gronk. Like, it just, what?
How do you really feel, though, about him?
There's so many words to look up. Manish, man, I have no idea.
Emotion there, right there.
Yeah.
But no, you don't trade Gronk. I mean, look, everyone, number one, I'll speak on a different side of it. When you've missed this amount of time, you want to feel valued. I don't care who you are. I don't care what occupation you're in, what line of work. When you miss time, you want to feel valued. In 2012, I missed 8 or so games or something like that.
It was 7. You were on my fantasy team.
But who's counting?
I apologize.
Oh, yeah. You should. I take that. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Not really, but now a little bit. Yeah.
But I missed games, and I wanted to feel missed. That doesn't mean I wanted the team to struggle.
A little bit, though.
But in the back of my mind, yes, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. You want to feel like, man, can you guys not look so good to make me feel like, or make someone upstairs, upper management, really value me more? Like, man, well, we need Gronkowski out here. We need Greg out here, because if Greg was out here, this would have took place. You want to feel that. I don't care who you are, how much success you've had. Your value is everything.
Yeah.
In your mind, you want to feel valued as an analyst, as a host.
That's so sweet.
You want to feel valued.
No, you're absolutely right. I do.
Yeah. It's like when my ex-boyfriend got married. I was like, really? You can survive without me?
Yeah, and you broke up with him and you hated him when you dated, but then you're like, but you're supposed to be miserable for the rest of your life.
You're like, what? Oh, you didn't trip walking down the aisle?
It's total human nature. And so for us to even talk about the Pats potentially thinking about, or should they, it's quite buffoonery.
There's no way to get fair value, if we're actually going to be like a nerdy football conversation for a moment. There's no way to get full value for one of the best players in the league on one of the best contracts in the league, in a league where you don't trade player for player. Like, if the take was trade Rob Gronkowski for Chris Harris, a shutdown corner, like, okay, like, I'll listen to that. But in football, when you trade a player, it's always for a draft pick. There's no way to get fair value for it, and the Patriots are not considering trading Rob Gronkowski. But I feel what Greg's saying, which is he's got to be sitting there wistfully thinking, like, damn, Like, I thought, you know, I was the man on this team, and now they're just as good without me. At least they appear to be this season.
You think that's what he's thinking?
What do you think he's thinking? Just like
More boobs. More boobs. Where am I going dancing? I write books. I don't read them. That's probably what I think.
Does he write books?
He's written like 5 books.
Children's books.
He's written more books than his
But were they supposed to be children's books, or were they meant to be novels and they accidentally ended up being... We're just kidding.
Yeah.
We love Gronk so much. We would never trade you. No, but that's really interesting. I think a lot of times we divorce human nature from athletes. Like, we expect them to act outside of things that, like, you're a human, I'm a human. Mm-hmm. The team's doing well without you. You're not like, that's okay, I am athlete.
Yeah.
You're like, this sucks, it feels bad.
It does, and it's not that he wants the team to lose. No one wants the team to lose or do bad or not perform at a high level, but I mean, can you not perform so good so that when I come back, I feel like I still belong? But when you're seeing the success of your teammates that you've gone to bat with, you've gone to practice with, you've sweat, you've done all these things with, you understand what it takes, and you feel like they can just get it done without you, it stings. I don't care who you are, it stings. That's the reality.
I'm gonna remind you of this when you like take a couple days off this week and we have to fill that chair. just so you know. Coming up, guys, Meta World Peace tells us the whole story about the night you won the NBA championship with the Lakers and ended up in the recording studio with Dr. Dre. It's insane.
Dr. Dre says, as Eminem would say, Dr. Dre says, he said, hey, I think we could do this record better. So now I'm like, what? You know, and Dr. Dre puts me in the studio.
Moment of silence for the champions, for those who may going hard.
Welcome back to Garbage Time live at the Super Bowl. Coming up in a few, Meta World Peace tells us a story, and Rich Eisen is going to join us live in studio. But first, the Super Bowl's on Sunday, and with all the talk leading up to it, no one's really talking about what happens after that. I don't know if you guys know, someone's going to win a championship on Sunday, and I imagine that celebrating that must be amazing. Luckily, we have someone with us today who has some experience in this department.
Noah.
Sarah Tiana.
I've never won anything. That's why I do stand-up. If I was good at anything else, I wouldn't torture myself.
Super Bowl.
Oh,
No,
look at
Fred.
you.
There you are. You were a Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl 45 with the Packers. Walk me through your night after you win. How did you celebrate that?
So I'll start with immediately after I won, and I feel bad because, you know, being on the herd with Colin, I was very celebratory, and I know he's gonna think less of me now, so I'm sorry, Colin, it is what it is. But no, there was a sense of excitement, but yet it was numbing.
That makes sense.
You really couldn't really register what just took place. It was almost like, did this really, really just happen? And so for me, right after the game, you know, my most celebrated moment and memorable moment was holding my 2 daughters, being there with my family, and my oldest daughter looking at the confetti come down, and she's like, Daddy, you did it. And she's like, this is a big mess. And I'm like, yes,
so
but this is
sweet.
a great mess. That was kind of my most memorable moment in celebratory moment. I didn't party. I'm not a partier. I didn't, you know, other guys, they celebrate different ways.
Hookers and blow.
Yeah, I was gonna say. They also have a bunch of girls, but they're not their kids.
In a bunch of other ways, but for me, it really didn't sink in until the following morning. So it's like everything kind of slowed down for me. It was draining, the game, everything leading up to it. And again, like I mentioned, it was a moment that almost felt surreal.
Well, so, all right, what did you eat after the Super Bowl? What was, like, the meal?
I don't even know if I did eat.
Come on.
I know, I feel so boring. And
You're a little boring, but it's okay. There's 2 other people.
It's
now.
okay, but I mean...
I can't even imagine forgetting to eat. I can't even imagine what that's like.
Well, when you played a game, no, I'm sure I ate. I just don't know what that really was.
Yeah.
But
yeah, everything was a blur. That makes
was a
sense.
blur.
It's like after my A block yesterday. What about you? Got a championship story?
I have a story It's basically the exact opposite of Greg's. Probably the sport I was best at was track and field. I loved basketball, but I was better at track. And we were in the
clipboard or actually?
No, running.
Okay.
No, so we're in the state final in the 4x800, and I'm the anchor leg, and we're supposed to finish in the top 3. And with about 300 yards, like they'd given me the baton in the lead, and with about 300 yards left, people started passing me. And this is another story I've never told publicly. And I panicked, and I faked a hamstring pull.
What?
I pretended I pulled my hamstring.
I knew what you meant. I was shocked.
And I ran the ran the last 200 holding my hamstring. So when we didn't medal, like instead of everyone's like Nick blew it, it's like Nick, are you okay?
Oh my God.
What?
Are you kidding?
I'm judging you as a person. That's one of those stories you shouldn't have told.
No, you go to your grave
Take that
with
to the
that.
grave, man. Now I'm judging you so hard.
Also.
Do you guys feel me on? What?
Yeah, I know. I love it.
Teammate,
Nick, I'm gonna bail you out. We're gonna throw it into this Meta World Peace thing because I need to think about what you just said. Earlier this year, Meta World Peace, still on the Lakers, by the way, sat down with us to tell us about his championship night after the Lakers beat the Celtics in 2010. It has to be one of the best championship night stories ever. Check it out.
Moment of silence for the champions, for those who make going hard a lifestyle.
Playing for the Lakers, winning the title with Kobe Bryant, Phil Jackson. I mean, what else is there to live for, you know? It was amazing. Immediately after we won the title, the first thing I was thinking was alcohol. Alcohol. I didn't know if I was going to experience this again. So that's all I was thinking the whole night. Drink, drink, drink. I was like a kangaroo mixed with a cheetah, you know, fast, nobody could catch me. The first drink that hit my lips that night was in the locker room. It was some champagne, and it was the best taste of champagne that I've ever had. Then we went to a steakhouse right across the street. We was club hopping. We might as well had a taxi cab pogo stick that takes you from one club to the next. I had my jersey on, I had my sneakers on, and then I had my snap-off pants on. And that's how I was the whole night. So then after the club, we decided to go to the Interscope Studios to see Polo the Don. And then it just so happens that Dr. Dre was in the room, and I even think Snoop Dogg was there for a little bit. And everybody was smoking marijuana except me, and there was just so much champagne, beer, and lots of marijuana. After we did that, we went back to play a little ping pong. Then we went in Dr. Dre's studio. Dr. Dre heard Champions. And Dr. Dre says, as Eminem would say, Dr. Dre says, he said, hey, I think we could do this record better. So now I'm like, what? You know, and Dr. Dre puts me in the studio. Dr. Dre puts me in the studio. He was coaching me kind of like Phil Jackson, so I'm being coached all over again. It was amazing because every syllable was important. So I couldn't go on to the next syllable without getting it down perfect. So I'm drunk, you know, maybe a little bit high from all the weed that was in the room, and Dre's behind the board. So I recorded the one verse, and then we was moving on to the second verse. By the time we got to the second verse, I'm like this. I would just hope that I wake up when I hear Dr. Dre's voice, because I hear it in my headphones. So eventually I was recording with my eyes closed. So tired. It's like 4 or 5 in the morning. After 3 hours or 4 hours, I said, Dre, I'm tired. And then Dr. Dre said, okay, we're gonna come back, we're gonna finish this record. And my dumb ass never finished the record, never called Dre. I was intimidated, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this can't be real. The session is still probably in the studio. And it's a remix of Champion. I didn't finish the record. I always wanted to win a title, but how lucky can I get? How am I behind a popper and Dr. Dre's telling me what to do? That's insane. That's insane.
You read the newspapers, you saw the magazines.
That's an incredible story. How do you not call Dr. after trade back.
It's unbelievable.
I feel like their stories were the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, super
Almost
same.
the same, like real
Yeah.
embarrassing, and
Yeah.
you shouldn't admit it ever.
Just one less baton.
Yeah.
Take your mother's advice.
Yeah, my mom was like, he was in high school and he doesn't play sports now. Give him a break.
Thank you.
And to be fair, like I'm just like you. When I win something big, like I really don't celebrate. Like I just chill. Like I don't really go out. I don't really do much. I just like. Okay. Well, that was one time.
Okay, that is nothing like me right there.
It was just one time, and that's my first beer ever. All right, coming up, you guys, the de facto mayor of Houston for the week, NFL Network's Rich Eisen is here. Looks like he's on our, he's out on the garbage time field, sponsored by the Herd. And we've got more knocker balls. Yeah, he is just walking past them. Oh my God, so smooth. Guys, stick around for Rich next. So smooth. Looks like Rich Eisen may have left his back. Oh my God, is someone taking his backpack? Okay, well let's hope NFL Network's playbooks aren't in there. That is, someone just stole Rich Eisen's backpack. That can't be good. Welcome back to Garbage Time, guys. We aren't wasting any time here. Let's bring him on from the NFL Network and the Rich Eisen Show, Rich Eisen. Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Hello, panelists. What's going on?
Sorry about that backpack. I hope.
I didn't see it. What was that?
Yeah, that was your backpack that you definitely carry around all the time.
Yes,
along with
like a college kid.
Yeah. We met this time last year, so this is like a very lovely
We did.
moment.
I ran into you walking into the convention center in San Francisco last year. You were going off to do Emmy Award-winning stuff.
Sure.
I was. I don't know what I was doing, but I just said hello. And now here we are.
You were
Now here I am
disrupting
on
my
Garbage
life.
Time.
I was walking, the real story, I was walking and I was like, that's Rich Eisen, that's Rich Eisen, that's Rich Eisen, like, don't make eye contact. And then he's like, Katie, and I went, oh God.
I'd usually
Freaked
have
out.
that effect on people.
You do. Well, so you're known. Everybody likes to talk about how you run 40s on TV.
Yes.
Well, we drink them.
You drink them.
So I figured that you, as guest, we brought you a 40.
Oh wow.
So we can do the Rich Eisen 40. I'm gonna do it. I'm not allowed to tell you what it is, but it's the one with a number in it.
And the name of a
I
baby
mean, I'm
horse.
actually gonna look at you.
Like, yeah.
If you want to,
Well,
I don't.
I'm running my 40 in 3 weeks. This is not exactly the type of conditioning
Yeah.
that is required. Yeah.
It worked out fine for the Giants when they drank a couple weeks before, so I think we should just, yeah.
You.
People are mad. Anyway, that's just there for you to enjoy.
This
That's
is,
Rich Eisen's
by the
40.
way, your production of this is really off the charts.
Oh, thank you.
Folks at Fox, they taped it to the bottom of the paper bag. This is your.
So you couldn't rip it off.
The Garbage Time props department.
Is not a thing. Is not. We just had Sarah. I gave her a couple dollars. She ran to the liquor store. She was already there. Listen, you've been doing TV for so long, and I've been watching you on TV for so long.
Don't make me feel old.
I'm not. That's not what I meant.
Okay.
But just like experienced and wise.
I'll take that.
And you've been in a bunch of Super Bowls, and you've done a ton of live TV.
Sure.
I did one of my first live TV episodes of this show yesterday.
How'd that go for you?
Really poorly.
Okay.
A lot of stuff went wrong.
Okay.
But I bet you have like some real horror stories.
No, actually, it's been great my entire career. Yeah, for now 20 years, I've never had a problem. But look, it's just turn the page. Yesterday's yesterday. That's already, the phrase is, it's in Pluto. That's gone. It's finished. It's over with.
But you don't have
let
any
it
story
stick
that was
with
like,
you.
oh my God, one time I threw a guest who wasn't
no.
there.
I mean, actually, it happened in local TV for me in Redding, California, where I wanted to do exactly what you're doing right now, where the teleprompter was operated by me because they gave you a foot pedal.
What?
That would, if you, underneath the desk, the anchor would pass it with her foot when it was time for sports. And so I'm operating the foot pedal, and the letters of what you're seeing right over there, just imagine if that prompter then suddenly comes up asterisk, star sign, all
Oh,
that
that's
sort
what
of-
happened during the A Block
There you
yesterday,
go.
so I can imagine it very well.
So that happened, and then they would not run the right tapes. It would go to black. It was terrible. So I just looked directly in the camera and I said, I'm broiling in my own sweat. Just threw that right out there, because people at home are watching me die 1,000 deaths. I might as well actually talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
So you may have that line. Next time, it just happens to that I'm broiling in my own sweat.
In my own
Yes.
sweat.
There you go.
R-O-I.
Own sweat. No, another thing about you that's why I like you so much is because you've been doing the like sports and humor thing really well on TV.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people try to find a way to bring humor into sports, which sounds so silly, right? Because it's a game.
Right.
But sometimes we take it really seriously.
Too seriously.
Yeah.
There are some in our business who take themselves too seriously.
I don't know who you could be talking about. Question is, like, how
Guys,
did you?
I'm right here.
I know.
How have you figured out how to work that balance?
You know what? I did stand-up comedy for 3 years in college, so what you do for a living, Sarah, is an incredible craft. It's made anything I've ever done that much easier. I love having a studio audience, because normally, you know what we do? Because not only do I feed off their energy, it's easy to pander to them, like I just did.
Yes.
And feed off energy. So I love it. You know, I just love what I do for a living and try not to take myself too seriously and hope people want to come back and watch it.
Yeah, it's great and very refreshing. So I appreciate you doing that.
Sort of like.
Yeah, it makes this.
Is that really
possible.
a beer? Is that really a beer?
Yes, and so is that.
I know, but
I know
I just,
it looks like
I've got to
soap,
run.
but that's because it's cheap.
I know that does look like it's some form of a.
Sarah here is a Falcons fan. You said something about nicknames.
Yes, so I listen to your show every day. Which I'm sure you know. I don't have a choice. I'm very jealous. And I love that your nickname for Matt Ryan is the Mattrel.
Yes.
Just wanted to pitch a couple of other ideas.
Please, because he's not too into it.
I know. Why not? Just a couple of
I don't know, because
other.
he just, the Matty Ice thing, he's had it forever, and I just thought the Mattrel, but I keep trying, and it really
rolls
hasn't.
off the tongue.
I
love it.
So what else do you have?
The other one would just be like Matt Ryan, Sarah Tiana's future husband. That's like a long one. Matthew McKinda Awesome. I was thinking about that one. Matt the Oil Man Ryan, because he's perfected the 2-minute drill. I don't know. These are all just These are all just things that I've, or 2-minute Matt. That's not a good
No, he had that nickname in college. Yeah.
No, I think if I threw any of those out, he would then go back to the Mattrel. So maybe we should keep on.
That's smart. Surrounded by bad suggestions. I keep drinking this like a child drinks a bottle.
Girl.
I know we're supposed to talk NFL. Can I one non-NFL question?
Nick, just stick outside the box, man.
You've got 3 kids.
I do.
Aside from their births, Jim Harbaugh being hired at Michigan, best moment of your life?
Well,
and aside from this as well.
Yes, I'm mandated to say, not only because I'm a man who's married to somebody who did give birth to those 3 children. I also deeply love her.
You're
there's that too.
Yeah, got it. But we're being honest.
I understand. Jim being he's the 5th best ever. It's got to be involved with something about meeting Don Mattingly and going ahead and hold on.
Sorry, what were you saying?
What is the matter with you people?
They're all from Texas.
Good Lord. An upstanding citizen drinks on television.
Yay, we win! One for the degenerates.
I know, yeah, you brought me down.
We need it. We need it. We love you.
My boyfriend needs
close.
that brown paper bag back.
I know he does.
Yeah,
I know to put it on his
it.
head. It's close though. Harbaugh coming back is one of the greatest days in the history of Michigan football. It really has been. And we haven't won a championship yet, but he's getting the right thing going. Even though I did see in certain places that he wouldn't be top 10 in the first 5 years of coming back.
What are these places you keep talking about?
And he was exactly that by the end of his first year, and then was again this past year. But I'm just throwing that information that's out there. What do you have, Greg?
I'm going to stay in that vein because I'm a Michigander. Although I went to Western Michigan.
And go ahead and tell why you went to Western Michigan.
So, okay, I'll tell this story first. So, Lloyd Carr is the head coach of Michigan. And I'm a junior in high school, and I'm all Michigan. I'm locked and loaded. My sister's going. I'm there. I sit down in his office, committed, don't care about any other school in the country.
You're locked in.
Couldn't care less. I'm locked in. 2 to 3 weeks prior to signing day, my senior year,
this is a horrible ending.
I haven't heard anything from Michigan. And so I'm like, man, should I call him? I don't want to really call him. I call, hey, Greg, we ran out of scholarships.
Oh, God.
Hold on, wait a minute. But we would love if you would come on as a preferred walk-on. And I'm thinking to myself, number one, I'm disturbed. That's a polite word that I'm going to use. But I was hurt. I was hurt. Yes.
Like, hold on.
Yeah, it worked out.
Lloyd.
Put the team on his back, though.
I did. Dapper and sharper.
Yeah.
So my question to you, it's along those lines.
Anything else you want to work? I feel like we should be lying on a couch and I should be writing something down.
I appreciate that. That was, I love that you're like that. So 5 straight losses. I know it hurts me to even mention this and bring this up. To Ohio State.
Yeah, what about it?
When does that end? Because I'm gonna tell in my home this year, like I'm a Bronco. Yes.
It helps with the pain. I'm just saying.
First of all, Greg, I don't mean to correct.
Oh God. I mean. Okay, fine. I'll do it. Sorry, what you were saying?
I haven't had this much peer pressure since prom night. First of all, it's the Ohio State University.
Oh, wow.
Greg, because you don't want to misconstrue it with an Ohio State University or another Ohio State University. It's apparently always the.
Well said.
Now, I would love for it to be over, trust me, and it will be. It's all cyclical. I remember when I was in school, the quarterback there guaranteed victory and got it. It was Jim Harbaugh. My freshman year, he was my freshman year quarterback. And then when we got out of school, because Jim Harbaugh lost in the Rose Bowl that he gained by beating Ohio State wanted to hire a coach who knows how to beat Michigan, so they hired the coach of the Arizona State team that beat Jim Harbaugh, and it turned out to be Jim Cooper, who we beat like the proverbial rented mule for so many years in Ann Arbor. So it's all cyclical. It's all going to come around again, and it has to, because every time I'm on a post-game show on the set for NFL Network on Thursday Night Football, Ted Ginn shows up, and freaking Malcolm Jenkins shows up, and Zeke Elliott shows up, and all of them just want to shove it in my face, and I cannot have it anymore.
It'll come back. You'll get your moment.
Thank you.
You'll get your moment. I believe in you.
Thank you so much.
Or you'll just enjoy things being shoved in your face.
Yeah. Rich, thank you so much for being here. I know that this show is really silly, and we made you take a sip of beer.
Congrats on your success.
Thank you very much. Congrats on yours. I think you're really going places.
Oh, my.
Thank you. Good to see you guys.
Coming up, guys, Sarah Tiana went to media night and found out which prop bets are going to make you guys money. You can't afford to not stick around. Welcome back to Garbage Time, live from Houston. I'm still here. Greg and Sarah and Nick are still here. How you doing, guys? You good?
Great.
Good, because I am drunk. One thing we're all excited for Sunday, no matter who your team is all the crazy prop bets that come with the game. We've got 3 that I need us to talk about for this year's game. First up, we've got odds a player gets arrested during Super Bowl week. 15 to 1.
Ooh. That's not a lot.
Not a lot.
That's good value.
Yeah, right? We've got odds a fan throws a dead falcon onto the field. 300 to 1. That's really sad.
It's gotta be
very
a bummer
sad.
if there's a dead bird thrown on the field.
Yeah,
They're like,
right?
oh, it's an eagle and doesn't pay.
Creepy.
You can't blame it on anything.
Okay, and finally, odds someone catches on fire during Lady Gaga's halftime show. 25 to 1.
That is definitely
Someone catches on fire?
Definitely happening.
That is insane. So of those, who you guys got? What are you putting your money on, allegedly?
I say big if, capital bold letters, if the Patriots win the Super Bowl, odds Tom Brady will
Be the best ever and marry me?
No, will give the underneath hug, chest to chest, to Roger Goodell like he did Cooper Manning last night.
Oh, that was a weird hug.
It was.
We love Cooper Manning, but that was a weird hug.
Yeah. It made me uncomfortable.
Why were you watching them hug?
This is, as As something of a degenerate gambler, this is kind of my area of expertise, so let me just tell the audience real quick, I'll go quick.
Sorry.
If you're going to bet the Gatorade, bet blue. The Patriots had blue last night, they'll have blue at the game. Patriots have scored in 31, listen, that's a bet.
Wait, cool blue or frost glacier
It's just blue,
freeze?
it's yellow, red, blue, clear are the options. Bet blue if you think Patriots are going to win.
Also bet blue because there's 2 blues. It's better, I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Okay.
The Patriots have scored in 31 straight quarters. There's odds on them scoring in all 4 quarters of Super Bowl, plus 170, that's good value. And then my final bet, I make it every single year. It's never paid off. Total points scored in the game, 4. The only way that happens if there's 2 safeties and that's the only scoring. But it pays 50,000 to 1, which means a $10 bet pays $500,000. Those are your 3 bets.
I'm Nick Wright. I'm Nick Wright.
I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah.
I put $50 on the fact that Kanye West is probably going to interrupt Lady Gaga during half.
That's fair.
I think that's a solid bet.
$50,
That's fair.
that's
Sarah,
it?
Yeah, that's all I have. I stole it from Katie's backpack.
She did.
Call back.
With the check, yeah. You did some actual reporting on this last night when you were at media night. She talked to a bunch of the Falcons. She found out what we need to be betting on Sunday. Check it out.
Oh my gosh, it's opening night of Super Bowl week. I'm so excited to be here. I'm going to get to talk to Atlanta Falcons players, and they're going to talk back to me. I hope. That's the plan. Not only am I a Falcons fan, I'm also a degenerate gambler. So I'm here to give the players props, but I'm also going to get the inside scoop. My prop bets. Oh, there's Matt Ryan. I already peed a little. So listen, I'm a huge Falcons fan, but I'm also a degenerate gambler.
Okay.
So I was trying to make some prop bets. The over-under on Brady's longest rush for the game is 3.5. So I was wondering if you could help me keep that at like half a yard, just like especially in the second quarter.
We're gonna say we're gonna keep them under 3.
Okay.
How much you putting up on it?
Oh, you know, like a lot, like probably like $15.
I'm confident in my defense.
I'm on offense, so I can't really do
No,
too much
but can
about that.
you know people? By the way, I always pronounce your name like the French way.
How's that?
Desmond Trufant.
Oh, okay.
So, who do you think's gonna get the first touchdown? Falcons or Patriots? I mean, just if I was putting $20 on it in the first quarter.
I mean, clearly I'm gonna go with us. Like, I'm not gonna say they're gonna score first.
Right. Vic, how many sacks do you think you'll have? More than 1 or less than 1?
Well, if I get less than 1, that'll be 0.
Do you want to go in on a bet together?
I wish I could, but I can't.
You're not allowed to bet?
Not allowed to bet.
Nobody's gonna see this. Just wink at me if you think I should put $20 on it.
Now, you see you trying to make me bet on camera, that's not happening.
Okay. All right, sure. All right, we'll do it off camera. Yeah. Oh no. Over under, I'd punch that guy right now.
Over.
Okay. Hey, Julio. Julio, first-time caller, long-time fan. Who do you think you're going to have over or under 95.5 yards this game? Just personally, like between me and you.
Oh, this is between me and you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't go into a game thinking that, you know, whatever defense gives me, you know, we should try to take advantage of it.
But say I put $20 on the over. Just wink at me if you think that will work. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good day, sir.
All right,
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
I cannot believe that. First of all, were you freaking out because you're a huge Falcons fan?
Yeah, he talked back to me.
I was gonna say, second of all, like, he looked over at you.
Yeah.
And I've been to media day before, and I'm bad at it because I can't get them to look at me.
Mm-hmm.
You did. He looked at you, and I'm like, if I were you, I would have just been like.
He winked a few times.
Yeah, he did. He winked at me.
He winked at you about gambling.
And he talked back to me. Yeah, and I think we're going to dinner. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's really exciting. You'll have to report
I told him I would be there.
Oh,
so
good.
we'll see if he shows
so he'll
up.
definitely be there too.
Yeah,
You'll have to keep us updated. Coming up, sorry, Sarah, I have to. Coming up, more Garbage Time live from Houston. Don't go anywhere.
Katie, it's now your time to speak again.
Thank God, because I've been waiting patiently. Welcome back to Garbage Time, guys. Running out of time in the show, but we got to get to our brand new segment, our most important addition to our brand new show. It's time for Nick Wrong.
I'm Nick Wrong?
That's right. You didn't know about this. Nick, earlier in the show, you put a lot of stock into statutes of limitations closing. First, you revealed that you once stole the Chiefs playbook, but then you gave us something even more wrong. It was not very becoming of you. Take a listen.
Probably the sport I was best at was track and field. I loved basketball, but I was better at track. So we're in the state final in the 4x800. They'd given me the baton in the lead, and with about 300 yards left, people started passing me, and I panicked. and I faked a hamstring pull.
Sarah and I have some issues with that, but we're also out of time. So Sarah, make some jokes. Go.
Yeah, first of all, the only part of that story that made sense was that you were holding a baton. That also makes really sense.
Also, you're silly. Do another one.
You fake more injuries than LeBron on offense every single day.
I'm going to let that keep going. That's all the time we've got today, guys. Thank you so much to Meta World Peace and Rich Eisen. Keep going for coming on. Thank you.